Hey man, you ever just not feel like doing what needs to be done? You ever get that I don't want to do it, right? I'm guessing that you do. I get the chance to work with awesome men every day, people who have major success, guys in their 30s and 40s who have enough money to retire already if they wanted to. And yet it still affects them and it affects all of us. So I'm guessing it affects you too, where maybe you're exhausted or just distracted. Maybe you're burned out, overwhelmed, or man, you just don't feel like doing it. See, but that right there, my friends, is the major obstacle to really succeeding in life and getting the outcomes you want. Because in order to be truly successful in life, like holistically, all around true success, we have to learn how to do what must be done, whether we feel like it or not. Think about that for a minute. If you go through life and this becomes kind of a chronic, perpetual problem where you're doing it often or doing it a lot, and some of you might be there already. You're like, yeah, man, every day. Every day I don't feel like doing it. And if we get into that rhythm where you only do what you feel like doing and you're not getting done the things you know right here need to be done, what's going to happen? You tell me, right? And I think you know the answer already. Like, that does not lead to the place that you dream about. It doesn't lead to your dreams and your goals, and it doesn't live to an extraordinary life. If you're coasting, there's only one direction you can coast, my friends, and it is not to the top. And so it leads to a really pretty disappointing, mediocre existence. In fact, I would say this perpetual doing what you feel like doing and not what you should do because you don't feel like doing it, that is one of the major causes of disappointment in ourselves and in our outcomes. See, this I don't feel like it leads to procrastination. It leads to, abandoning goals and plans. In fact, it leads to not even setting goals or plans or schedules. You've done that before, where you avoid scheduling it or planning it. You avoid setting goals because you're like, I don't know if I'm going to feel like doing it. It leads to playing the victim, making excuses, the blame game, like all this frustration and irritation, all this buffering, all this avoiding, right? We get into these avoidance patterns and the numbing we do. We're like, man, I'd rather just sit down and turn on TV, watch a game. I'd rather, watch a little Netflix or get on my phone and watch some YouTube videos or scroll for a little bit. I'm just gonna disconnect. I'm gonna have some downtime, right? What we're really doing is we're avoiding those things we already know will help us crush it. So I'm gonna tell you in this video how to overcome that. Because unless we do that, we get stuck, seriously stuck. In fact, I think it was Charles Swindoll who said the chief cause of failure and unhappiness in this life, listen to this, is giving up what we want most for what we want in the moment. Boom! I'm going to repeat that. The chief cause of failure and unhappiness in life is giving up what we want most for what we want in the moment. And in that moment, it's like, I don't feel like doing that. And so we do something else. And so that becomes our major cause of pain, frustration, disappointment, and failure. And then we go around, you're with me on this, right? Because you've probably done this, where you blame the government, you blame God, you blame the devil, you blame your family, you blame your past, you blame the tax man, you blame IRS, your job, the COVID, whatever. You blame anything and everything, but really, if you're just totally honest with yourself, you didn't do it just simply because you didn't feel like doing it. Or at least you didn't feel like doing it at the level that's required to really succeed. That, brother, is where you're dropping the ball. And I want to help you do that. I want to help you overcome that because I've been there, right? In fact, I went through years of this where I was like, man, I don't feel like doing it. So I didn't do it. these things I wanted to do, needed to do, these recipes for success and happiness, to have all the great things I want, right? To be in fantastic shape. You could be rocking a six-pack abs if you want, right? To do that marathon or that triathlon or to go hike that mountain, right? Or just to look and feel fantastic. The mindset, getting the education you want, learning another language, getting your mind just rock solid where your thinking is clear and directed instead of just being sabotaged all the time by negative thoughts and fears and doubts. To get your emotional mastery so you feel fantastic almost every day. To get your marriage totally dialed in. Not okay, not good, not even great. Extraordinary. But there's no way you can have an extraordinary marriage if you're only going around doing the things you happen to feel like doing in the moment. Wow. All right, so how do we do it, fellas? I'm big promises here. Well, and I want to hit this too. Finances. Are you at where you want to be financially? In business, in impact, contribution, making a difference in the world. Socially, friends, connections, networks. Right? It all comes down to doing what needs to be done whether we feel like it or not. See, Albert Gray, like years ago, is one of my all-time favorite essays. I highly recommend it. Albert Gray, when he wanted to do all this research, and for decades he was studying all these men, he's like, what is it? What makes the difference between the people who succeed and the people who fail? What's the difference between the winners and the losers? And this is key, because we have to train ourselves to win. Right? So he said, I wanted to find out what made the difference, because these guys are working hard, these guys are working hard. These guys are really good guys, and these guys are really good guys. But why is it that some win and some fail? And after studying it for decades, you know what he found out? He called it the common denominator of success. Came down to this one thing. The people who win are willing to do the things that the unsuccessful people don't want to do. Let me hit that home again. The difference between the winners and the losers, the successful and the unsuccessful, is that the successful people are willing to do the things that the unsuccessful people don't want to do. They're unwilling to do them. And he said, guess what? You know what I found out? He said the successful people, they don't want to do it either. But they do it anyways because they know that's what it takes to really succeed. Woo-hoo! So my friends, winning is a skill set. It's a skill you develop and cultivate, right? Following through is an ability that you develop. Ooh. Making and keeping commitments is a capability that you cultivate. All this stuff is totally learnable. So how do we do it? I've been promising you to do this, right? And ultimately, this is what I do with my courses, with my masterclass and the trainings I do, the live coaching I do, is I'm helping good men get the tools and the training and the resources to make sure that they know exactly what they need to be doing, so they're not barking up the wrong tree, they're heading down the wrong path. They get crystal clear what it takes to succeed in all areas of life, and then map that out clearly and give them the tools and the resources to just get it done. And overcome that barrier and that obstacle of like, oh, I don't feel like doing it, right? And what to do to make yourself feel like it, right? Because who wants to just grind through it every day and like, and force yourself to do things you don't feel like doing? The key is to switch it so you do feel like doing it. Because honestly, when you're at your best, don't you feel like doing it? Like when you're at your best, you're unstoppable, brother. Nothing gonna slow you down. Nothing gonna get in your way. When you're at your best, like, bring it. Bring on the obstacles. Bring on the challenges. I'll take all this and I'll smash it. But you have to feel like it. So here's what we're gonna do. Ready? Number one, you gotta change your state, right? Your state is just this combination between your mind and your body. And here, if you were to show me right now, show me physically what it looks like to you when you don't feel like doing it. Well, it's usually something like this, isn't it? And so your shoulders are forward, you're kind of slouched, you slump, your face is dropping, you're like, man, I don't feel like it, right? Now physically show me what feel like it looks like, right? When you're at your best, You're up. You got good posture. You got the string pulling up on your chest. Your head's up. You're breathing deeply. You're smiling, right? And you're like, man, yeah, I'm on it, right? And I know that seems childish. It seems elementary, but guess what? When you move your body, you move your emotions. And the reason you don't feel like doing it, look at yourself, man. Nobody, you're like this. Nobody feels like doing anything when they're like this, right? So move your body. Change your posture, change your state. Even I like hitting my chest. Boom, 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 right? Do some jumping jacks, do some air squats, do some push-ups. And I know you're sitting there saying, man, but I don't feel like doing push-ups. I don't feel like doing air squats. And I don't feel like doing jumping jacks. And I don't feel like sitting up and smiling. And that's that part where there's a little bit of discipline and a little bit of toughness with yourself. It's like, get up and do what I'm telling you to do right now, right? And you do those little things. It's easy to make yourself jump around and turn on a song and move your body and get fired up. That's easy. And then once you've done that, then you feel better and you're like, man, actually I feel a lot better. Let's go work on that project. Let's go invest. Let's go and do the thing that I know I need to do. So first thing, move your body, which will move your mind, right? Read good stuff. Listen to good stuff. And on that note, fellas, please cut out all the crap, all the negative stuff. I haven't watched the news for decades because it's almost always negative and dramatic. I don't want that stuff in my life. Negative songs, negative movies, dark conversations, even people that are negative, toxic people. Avoid those things carefully and strategically and watch how you start feeling better. And more you feel like doing the things you need to do. Move your soul. Like get centered. Get grounded. Like right here. Spend time in nature. Spend time with God. Like get out and exercise. Read great books. Listen to great podcasts. Go subscribe to the Extraordinary Family Life podcast. If you like these videos, I'm going to do all kinds of training. I'm going to crank out dozens and dozens of training videos because I'm on a mission to help you succeed. So subscribe to this channel and share it. Like get in on this stuff and get regular doses of it, just like taking your vitamins, man, just like eating good food. And on that note, eat good food. I promise, if you're eating healthy and you're exercising, moving your body more consistently day in day, it's going to be easier and easier to feel like doing the things you want to do, right? So I'm going to give you 2 more tips. So again, change your state, right? If you don't feel like doing it, say, what do I need to do? Just jump around, move, bounce, hop. Like I'll bounce on my toes. I'll turn on a song that always motivates me. I'll get fired up, swing my arms. I'll play with my kids, swing around. I'm like, okay, I'm back in the game. I want you to set up some, you can call them triggers, you can call them anchors. It's things you see or do, motions, words, affirmations, declarations, incantations, pictures, images. Right here in my office, I've got my vision board. When I look at those pictures of the things I want to do and achieve and acquire, man, I get fired up. I made things carvings that keep me motivated and driven, and I rewrite my goals. Or you see something, do something. Maybe it's a car. So it might be an object, right? It might be just something that just really fires you up, a certain image or a picture, a person. If you got a hero, get a picture of that hero and set him up there and be like, yeah, what would he do? For me, one of mine is Theodore Roosevelt Jr. So if I'm ever in a spot, I'm like, man, I don't feel like doing it. In my mind, I'm like, all right, what would Theodore Roosevelt Jr. do right now? I'm like, are you kidding me? That guy... He got shot one time. He was on the way to a speech and he got shot, right? Somebody shot him, tried to assassinate him, and it hit something, like a notebook or something, hit him in the chest, and it kind of lodged in his rib. He went and he gave the speech anyways, 90-minute speech with a bullet lodged in his ribs. And he said, it'll take more than a little bullet to take this bull moose down, right? So, like, I'm not going to cop out when I think of my hero. So set up some kind of anchor, some kind of trigger that reminds you of how you want to live. The second thing is you got to set up rituals, patterns, habits. Set up routines that empower you, right? Things that just happen all the time. So you're consistently going to be doing that stuff. And if you make it automatic, you make it a pattern, a habit, a ritual. Like I have this ritual, I have a morning routine I've been doing, and I've been doing it for like 26 years, right? I start my day that way, and it just makes it easier, makes it better. So set up small habits that just become so automatic. You just get up and you just do them. Like I just get up and I exercise. I just get up and I read from great books every day. I just get up and I spend some time writing and thinking. I just do that every day, and bam, it works, right? Now with that, so actually I'm going to give you a third thing here. Bonus, create some leverage. And by leverage, I mean, okay, because you're sitting there and you're like, I don't feel like doing this. I don't feel like doing it. So what I do mentally is I create leverage. I'm like, okay, well, what if somebody offered me $1 million right now? Would I do it? I'm like, yeah, totally. I would totally do it, right? So that just does away with your excuses like, well, I don't feel like doing it, I can't do it. Like, well, would you do it for $1 million? Yep, I would. And some of you are like, no, I wouldn't. Well, I want 10 million. If somebody offered you 10 million bucks, would you get up every day for the rest of the year at 5 a.m. and work on yourself? Of course you would, right? Another form of leverage is like, what if your life was on the line? What if you don't do this, you die? Or even heavier, if you want more leverage, if you don't do this, someone you love dies, right? Think about that. What that does is it just moves it mentally for you. Like, oh man, I don't feel like working on that. I don't feel like doing that. Well, what if you're going to die? What if someone you love, what if their life was on the line? Would you do it? Heck yeah. And you're saying, well, yeah, but their life's not on the line. Right. But you're using the leverage to say, wait a minute, I can do this. I can do hard things. And I could totally pull up the strength and stamina and drive and commitment to finish this. If somebody's life was on the line, of course I could do it. So if I can do it then, I can do it now. That's the connection. And for me, here's my biggest form of leverage. I want to be a man of character and integrity. And so when I make commitments, I keep them. When I say I'm going to do something, even if it's just to myself, when I say I'm going to do something, I do it because my integrity is on the line and my character is on the line. That's how I use leverage in my own life to do the things that need to be done, whether I feel like doing them or not. Whoa. So set those things up, fellas, and get to a place where you are consistently making and keeping commitments and doing the things that need to be done, whether you feel like it or not. Lean in, and what will happen is you get doing it more and more, you'll feel like doing it more and more, and then it actually is easier. It genuinely is easier to do what needs to be done because you feel like doing it. Make it happen. If you need some help, some training with this, again, subscribe to this channel. I do all kinds of resources on every area of your life on the Extraordinary Family Life podcast. Go subscribe to that and listen to those. And when you're ready, jump in the masterclass and get all the tools and elite training to help you do what you need to do so you can just smash it at work and at home. So you can live as your very best self, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, socially, financially, so you can make an impact in the world and you can reach for your potential and live as your best self. Go make it happen, brother. Reach upward.